What's up guys, it's Joel from GSG Games Since Gaming. Come to you with a video strategy guide for Rise of the Tomb Raider. We are doing the Siberian Wilderness Collectibles. From the start of the campfire, you want to head down the path until you find that dead deer in the snow. Head to the right, and right after you pass these trees, look to the left. You're going to see a little hill you can climb with the brick wall. Right there on the ground is your first document.
For a year I have ridden with an army of Mongols, as envoy from the Order of Trinity. Their Khan is a great warlord, despite his heathen ways. Under my influence, I have helped them topple nations, burn cities and kill princes, all in search of the Prophet. Our slaughter of the Rus was not in vain, for among the spoils we at last found the map. And now, this very morning, after a season in the mountains, we saw buildings rising from a green valley surrounded by ice. We have found Kitesh. I tell the Khan of the riches that will be his, and that alone drives him on. But the real victory will be for God, when we purge the Prophet's lies from the earth, and at last, the divine source will be ours.
Next we have the very first explorer satchel. We're going to take that same path down. We're going to go right between those trees, except we're going to follow the path down a little bit further and look to the right. There's going to be another cliff that you can climb up on, and there's going to be a corpse, a skeleton, and there's going to be a backpack, and that is a satchel. Now, side note, explorer satchels, they will identify the location of X amount survival caches and strong boxes, so they're very handy. Starting again from the campfire, you're gonna head down the path all the way to that deer again. This time you're gonna make a left. And right when you pass those trees, look to the left. There's a cliff that you can climb up on. And there's going to be a document behind those bushes.
I have learned all I can from the carnage inside the Prophet's tomb. My brothers were slain, to the last man, sometime within the last few days. The false Prophet's followers died here by the hundreds, but in the end, they were victorious. I have sealed the tomb as best I can, and told the men of the nearby village that the Prophet is at last dead. I left them with the subtle threat that this place should remain hidden. I do not know if the Prophet survived, but I will follow their trail. No one escapes the Order of Trinity.
Next up is the Archivists Map. You want to head down again towards that deer, veer to the left, follow that path down, and you're going to see some boards on a cliffside. I like to call that a kicker board. Basically, Laura will climb halfway up and kick off the wood and climb to the ledge and climb up. So you're going to do that, and once you get to the top, you're going to see a post with a rope. And if you're familiar with the previous Tomb Raider game, you know that you jump on that rope and you're going to shimmy across to the other side. You're going to drop down on that plank, and the map is resting right there. Now, just a heads up, the Archivist Maps, they don't give you an achievement or anything. They just show you the locations of the relics and documents and murals. I'm going to show you all those locations. So, I'm probably going to leave the maps out from now on. Maybe make a video of them later. Hey, look where we started again. That campfire. Alright, so you're going to take a couple steps out, look to the left, follow that path down. We're actually heading all the way back out to that kicker board from the previous clip. You're going to climb up there, and then you're going to head to the back. There's going to be a tree that you can climb up. You climb up with that tree to the top branch, and that will allow you to reach this upper ledge over here, and there's going to be a document.
We have told the people of the Valley City that we will attack at dawn, but we shall advance behind the Karash at moonrise. The captives we kept from the battles in the west will be our shields as we advance. Few survived the long march across the mountains, but those that live will serve their purpose to the Horde. The city sparkles, a gift not yet given. We will take what is ours and march home with our spoils.
Now we're in the center of the area. There is a monolith right here. And we actually collected all those documents first on purpose.
Mongolian.
Because in order to translate this monolith, you're going to need to collect all those documents.
Most of the writing is in
Once you
praise of
do,
military
you
victory,
translate the
but
monolith, and it's
looks
going
like
to
they
give you the
left
location
something
of
nearby.
the 3 coin caches in this area. And I'm going to run out and grab them right now. And just a heads up, if you're going to follow my collectible playlist, I would highly recommend just grabbing the survival caches and these coin caches whenever they're in the area, whenever you see them, just grab them. And a little bit of an important side note, the coin caches, you actually cannot pick those up unless you translate a monolith. However, the survival caches, you don't have to pick up an explorer satchel to actually pick those up. If you see them, you can pick them up. And facing towards the current objective, you want to look to your left. We're going to head over to that left side. There's going to be a cave. We're going to head inside that cave, and there are some mushrooms inside there. You might want to put that little piece of information away, because you might need it in a little bit. Mushrooms. Alright, so once you get into this cave, head to the back, look to the left. On the ground is going to be a document.
The Prophet and his followers have been traveling under cover of night, a crooked trail around the border of the Eastern Empire. I do not know where they are headed, and I suspect they do not either. But they know we will not let them rest until this heresy is purged. The common folk of the borderlands give him shelter, and I find it curious that none who have aided him will tell me anything of use. Even when I threaten them with the wrath of Trinity or touch the edge of a knife to their throats, they stay silent. They die, never betraying what they know. The Prophet has a curious sway over people. All the more reason he must be silenced.
Starting from the center again, this time we're going to head to the northeast. There's going to be a ledge over there that you can climb up on, and when you do that, you're going to see a box, and inside that box is a relic.
A crown from one of the princes of Kiev. How did it come to be all the way out here? Someone was wearing it when they were killed.
And now we're going to go for the 3 survival caches on this map. And as you can see on my map, that I didn't have them marked on it. And as I was saying before, the survival caches do not have to be marked on your map to actually pick them up. You're going to see that gleaming light and you can pick it up. But the coin caches, you cannot pick up unless you translate a monolith. Next up, we have the challenge for the area, which you cannot do until you progress further into the story to get to this point. Very easy to do though. You need to just stealth kill 3 enemies and loot them afterwards. Grab and go.
Command, we're fanning out to pick up the trail.
Roger that, but it looks like they've retreated. Primary objective is to find the missing
I am kind of disappointed in this challenge. I felt like they could have done a lot more, and like for instance, they could have done the Ghost Hunter challenge again, where they have totems hidden throughout this area. This area would have been perfect for that, but they didn't do it.
Shit. Spread the word. The natives set snares in the clearing. They must have planted.
And yes, this challenge is easy, but I'm actually showing it for more than just the fact that it's a challenge. It actually is to let you know that in order to get this next document, you're going to need to progress the story to that point that I was at right there. That's the only way this document will show up. If you go over to this area before you progress the story, the document will not be there.
We're gearing up. I was on the first flight to Siberia to secure the old Soviet installation now. More are arriving every minute. Konstantin gave a speech to the new boots, and I stayed in the back to watch. Love hearing him speak. Never gets old. I was never much for believing, but it was just words before. This is something more. It's truth. I was broken once. But Trinity is making us whole again. Giving us a purpose. A new world awaits. Even those who don't believe will have a part to play.
After your run-in with the local wildlife, you are rewarded with the Strongbox of this area. And that should be right in front of you, and you can go ahead and pick that up. In that same cave with the Strongbox, you want to head to the back, and you are going to find a document on the ground a little to the left and straight back. Now, if this is your first time playing through the Siberian wilderness, this document is the last collectible that you can collect for now. You want to come back here when you get the rope arrows.
The fugitive prophet has crossed out of the Empire and now turns north. I'm now in unfamiliar territory. The order of Trinity was clear. I am to pursue the false prophet and his adherents to the ends of the earth and wash away his heresy. But I believed I could overtake him months ago. Still, he eludes me. He crosses Khazar land and across the Caucasus Mountains. Here, I'm at a disadvantage. I speak a dozen tongues of the Empire, but in the hinterlands, I'm often left to communicate with little more than a sword. The Prophet, it seems, speaks every language, as if he were born to them.
Now that you have the rope arrows, you want to head back and go south where there's a cave. There's going to be a boarded up cave with a rope twined around the board. You want to use the rope arrows to pull the wood, clear the entrance, head inside that cave, and there's going to be a box with a relic inside of it.
A thumb ring for a Mongolian archer, allowing them to shoot quickly while still mounted on horseback. This must have belonged to a warrior of some stature.
The final collectible of this area is a relic, and it is right next to the other relic in the cave that is just a little bit to the east of it. You want to head to the entrance. It's going to be boarded up, and you can use any gun to clear it out. You can actually use your pistol as well. Head down the ramp and look to the left. You're going to see a box with a relic inside of it. And don't forget, if this video helped you out, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and that little click for more guys. Yeah, you might want to click that. Thanks for watching.
A Mongolian tug. A banner of sorts to be affixed to a spear. This one looks like it's seen some violence.